Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new Porsche 992 GT3 RS. This was built for one reason only, dominating the track. So let's see what makes this thing so special. So before we get into all the cool things about this car, I really want to point out that Porsche really committed to the track-focused look and feel. To minimize weight, they even took away their crest they always have here, and they ended up painting it to minimize weight on track. So of course, when you first look at the car, you're automatically dragged to all the aerodynamics. But let's talk about the engine. Porsche has put in here one of their most famous engines. It is a 4-liter, naturally aspirated flat-6 engine delivering 518 horsepower, which is more than enough to power this super lightweight track-focused car. So with Porsche, everything has a purpose. Some manufacturers don't have it like that, but every little winglet, aero duct, wing serves a purpose. So starting here in the front, it does have a plastic front splitter. You know, if you're on track, you don't want to damage carbon fiber. It costs a lot to repair, so they thought of that. But the front splitter leads all the way to the floor of the car, which we can't see now, but is a very technical piece of the car, which leads aero to the rear diffuser. But let's not leave this area yet. We do have these aero things here that are cooling, that lead all the way down. Brake ducts right here when you are pushing. Side skirts that flow air all the way to the rear. As we spoke before, they really committed to the track-focused look. So this hood is carbon fiber, the roof is carbon fiber, the mirrors are carbon fiber, and the rear wing is carbon fiber. They really want to minimize weight so you have maximum performance on track. Another cool feature about this is PCCB, so it's Porsche's ceramic composite brakes, carbon ceramic, but also these rims. These are magnesium, so they're very lightweight, very track focused again. I was talking about minimizing weight. So not many cars have this big of a wing. Porsche pulled it off. It looks absolutely amazing on this car. One thing that no car has is DRS. This has active DRS when you're on track, just like a Formula One car, which is definitely not needed on the street, but on track, you know, why not? So that's enough of outside the car. Let's get inside the car. So right when you step in, feels much like a race car in a sense. Still has a bunch of infotainment, Alcantara everywhere. But these sport bucket seats, really heavy bolstered, you know. For me being a little big, I do fit, which is very lucky. Looking straight on, you have a sport Alcantara steering wheel, big paddle shifters, which is different from other 911 GT3 models. You have a lot of controls here that you can mess with: drive mode and TC, ESC, but also new things Porsche added. You can change how much movement you want in suspension and all that, but you really have to be special in this craft to know all about that. Although this is, you know, a very track-focused car, it does have its comfortability. You don't have a 6-point harness, but you do have a regular belt, although you could switch it for a 6-point harness, and it has the capability to add a full roll cage. Moving on from that, you do have your regular infotainment system. I do like that it is analog, although on the new 992 models, they are going towards digital, which I'm not a fan of. So this one is going to be one to keep for anyone who has one. Out of all the cars I've driven and reviewed, this really is something I can't say anything bad about. The sound you have at driving at 9,000 RPMs is an unworldly experience you could ever have. Adding on to all the features you have, especially directed towards the driver, you do have a DRS button, which you don't see in many cars. But as I said earlier, it opens up a little flap at the rear wing to get more speed in the straights instead of it dragging. So, I mean, I would say this car is very minimalistic in its interior, but that's the art about it. So let's get this car out on track and have some fun. Alright, so after completing my first warm-up lap in this car, you can already feel this is really race car derived. I mean, the active aero on this car literally has DRS. I mean, what car has that except a Formula One car? It is absolutely phenomenal. The braking is best of any road car I've ever driven in my life. And the PDK, nothing better than a PDK. This transmission is so crisp. Look at this, all the way to 9,000 RPM. You don't get that anywhere but Porsche. In a car, you know, as much as it has a lot of speed, it is glued to the track. Braking efficiency, absolutely phenomenal. Turn in, amazing. I mean, this might be my favorite car of all time. I mean, look at this boy. These seats, As I said earlier, they are pretty bolstery, but once you're in the car, my gosh, you do move around, but it's better than any races I've been in. They're also comfortable as well. That's why I feel like this is probably the most perfect car you could have for a balance between street car driving and track car driving. It also does not take a bunch of work to do. You know, you can drive it on track and drive straight home, no problem. You don't have to worry. So coming off track, wow. I've driven a bunch of other supercars on track. I've thought they were planted to the ground, but there is nothing like this for mechanical and aerodynamic grip. This car is planted, glued to the track. So starting with the aero, although you do see it, it looks nice and you think it works, when you're out on track, you really feel it working. I think, to me personally, this car is the closest you can have to a race car to drive on the street. I don't know how it's legal, but it is phenomenal. So unlike other supercars, this car is really focused on corner grip. A bunch of other supercars like Ferrari, McLaren, and all that, they specialize in straight line. Although they do have a lot of aero, this takes it to another level. Those cars are good in straight line, a lot of high power. This does have 518 horsepower. So in the straight line, you do feel it lacking just a little, but this car will eat anything up in the corners. Any car, this will take it over. The amount of speed you can carry in and not scrub off is absolutely crazy. So overall, this car was such a fun experience to have on track. This will give you the performance and speed on track, while also giving you the reliability to drive home safe after track day. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you did like the video, please drop a like and subscribe. And let me know what other cars you'd like me to test. Drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to take a look.